Okay, so here we want to find the quartiles and the interquartile range for this set of data. The first thing that we're going to need to do before we can locate any of these values is to put the data in order. Okay, so now that we have these values in order, we should have spotted just how many there are. N is going to equal 10. We have 10 values that we're working with. Now, what we then need to do is to use some position formulas, and this is going to tell us where to look for particular values that we're looking for. The median, which I'm going to refer to as Q2, or the middle quartile, it's rarely called the middle quartile, is going to be located in a position that is found by taking the count of n, adding on 1, and dividing by 2. That tells me 11 over 2, and we end up with 5.5, which represents the 5.5th position. This is where I'm going to look to find, Q2, the median. The lower quartile, Q1, is going to be located 1/4 of the way along. So I'm going to do n plus 1, but this time divide by 4. The median was halfway along. Q1 will be 1/4 of the way along. So once again, 11 divided by 4, that gets us the 2.75th position. And Q3 is going to be 3/4 of the way along. So it's a similar calculation, but it's going to be 3 n plus 1 divided by 4. Since I already know n plus 1 divided by 4, I'm doing 3 times that. Okay, now let's locate these values. Be extremely careful. Q1 is where I'll start, and Q1 is in the 2.75th position. This means it is located in between the second and third data point. I'm going to find the value exactly in between the second and the third data point. So we're looking at 39 and 42. To find the middle of these two values, you can add them together and divide by 2. And that leads you to 40.5. Q1's 40.5, 1/4 of the way through the data. Q2, this is our median. The median is located at the 5th position. That means it's in between the 5th and the 6th piece of data. So I'm going to go ahead. This time, let's be clear which values we're talking about. In between the 5th and the 6th. And I just need to check what value is right in the middle of those two. Do it in your head, or add them together and divide by 2. Q2 equals 60. And lastly, Q3. So Q3 is in the 8.25th position. I'm going to look for which value is in between the 8th and the 9th. These are the values we're looking at. What is right in between 76 and 84? Add them together, divide by 2. Q3 is 80. So here I have my quartiles and the median, and there's quite a lot I can do from this point. This question has asked for the interquartile range. What is the difference between the quartiles? So the interquartile range, which I'll call IQR, Q3 minus Q1. In this case, 80 minus 40.5. Final answer, 39.5. So I found the positions for each of those quartiles, found the values of each of the quartiles, and I've used Q3 and Q1 to find the interquartile range.